All right, today we are diving into something pretty wild. It's this mysterious, sprawling text called Draconis. And honestly, it's a really strange collection of ideas that paints a completely radical picture of our reality. It all kicks off by asking one simple but kind of profound question.
And here it is. The text just comes right out and asks you, are you playing a game you don't even know exists? The whole idea here is that our entire life, everything we do, is basically one giant game. And the crazy part is, most of us are playing it completely clueless that we're even on the board.
The source actually calls it the video game of life. Think about it. You get so caught up in the levels, the side quests, the daily grind, that you totally forget about the ultimate prize, this jewel that's supposedly inside all of us. But here's the kicker. The text says that just like any video game, once you figure out the rules, it gets a whole lot easier to play.
Okay, so if life is a game, what's the main quest? What's the point? What are we supposed to be doing here? Let's dive into the ultimate objective. And you know what? It's actually incredibly simple. The whole goal, the entire point of the game is just this: go from darkness to light. That's it. According to Draconis, the entire reason for, well, everything, is for each of us to make that journey, to go from a state of not knowing, of ignorance, into a state of real awareness and light.
And this is where the lore gets really cool. The text claims that there were, well, original players. Beings who completely mastered this game trillions of years ago. And get this, it calls them dragons. But we're not talking about mythical fire-breathing beasts here. They're framed as the ultimate symbols of enlightenment, the ones who beat the game.
So with that epic backstory in mind, let's bring it back to, well, right now. Let's talk about the level most of us are currently stuck on. The source calls our modern world a state of chaos, and it's basically the challenging, messy first level of the game.
And this quote from the text just nails it, doesn't it? We are sawing off the branch we are sitting on. It perfectly captures how self-destructive our current way of playing the game is. We're so distracted, so completely unaware of the bigger picture, that we're literally destroying the very thing that supports us.
So what's keeping us stuck here? The source points to a few major glitches in the system. First, so many of us are just living on autopilot, not really making conscious choices. Then there's this whole throwaway society built on consumerism. We're distracted, right? Texting on the freeway of life, and of course, the endless political division, that constant us versus them mentality. And maybe worst of all, we've forgotten our deep connection to the earth. These are the big obstacles, the bugs in the code we've got to get past. All right, so that's the chaotic first level. The big question is, how do we level up? How do we get past it? Well, the good news is the text doesn't just point out the problems. It actually gives us a strategy guide, a kind of cheat sheet for unlocking some serious power-ups.
And the core strategy is summed up in this amazing metaphor. The idea is we spend all our time staring at the movie screen of life, trying to change the images we see. But the wise person turns around and realizes there's a projector behind them creating the whole show. It's telling us that the real game isn't about changing the outside world. It's an inner journey to find the light inside of you that's projecting your reality in the first place.
So, how do we find that inner projector? The path boils down to 3 really key steps. Number 1, look within. Stop searching for answers out there and start looking inside. Number 2, practice kindness. Simple, right? But it's central. And number 3, find harmony. Harmony with yourself, with other people, and with the world around you. Now, this is where things get really interesting. The text argues that ancient mystics and modern quantum scientists are basically saying the same thing, just using different words. So the mystic talks about the kingdom of heaven being within you, while the quantum scientist talks about the universe being one giant quantum field. The mystic feels like they're surfing an infinite wave, while the scientist comes to the conclusion that you are the universe. You just don't realize it yet. It's the same idea, just 2 totally different paths leading to the same mind-blowing destination.
So what's the master key to actually accessing all of this, to unlocking these power-ups? The text points to one thing over and over again: meditation.
It's presented as the most powerful, practical tool we have. It's how you quiet all that external noise and, as the text says, literally open the door to eternity. All right, so we've covered the main quest. We've looked at the messy first level we're all on, and we've talked about the power-ups you need to level up. So what about the end game? What does it actually mean to win this game? It all comes down to one final, absolutely critical choice. And this is it, right here. The text puts it so bluntly. You are either the problem or the solution. It's saying that every single one of us has to make a choice. In this crazy, chaotic world, are you going to be part of what's wrong with it, or are you going to be part of the solution? And according to this philosophy, there is no sitting on the fence. You can't do it any longer.
And after hundreds of pages of philosophy and cosmic ideas, the final instruction is this. Incredibly simple, kind of cryptic command: turn the computer on. The implication here is just brilliant. It's suggesting that we already have everything we need. The hardware is there, the software is installed. The final move, the thing that wins the game, is just to turn it on. So I guess the only question left for all of us is, have you?